One of the topics that I enjoy a lot, it's about surface texture on anterior. It's um, it's very challenging because it's in a static zone. It's the final touch that our restoration receive. So in the end, our patient, they are very happy when they see. It's that touch that makes our restoration more natural. That looks like to be natural as close as possible. It's very challenging, and as I saw in my lectures and also in my workshops, it's demanding quite a lot of attention for that and for details. And another thing that it's challenging is to see the things that are you doing, because the tooth is small, and in that small tooth you have a lot of informations. And as I saw, it's very important to follow some steps. If you follow some steps, you will get nice surface texture and you will have nice results. So I will present the way I'm doing this thing. Is not the only way, but it's one way. And I saw in my workshop that it's working quite nice. One basic rule when we do surface texture is to see. And this, when I mean to see, it's to have a nice reflection of the tooth, and it's a nice perspective. This why, in my opinion, using microscope could be sometimes quite difficult for doing surface texture. And why I say that, because the microscope is the view is straight and the light is straight, so you don't have so many shadows. Or you can use a different combination between the position of the microscope and the lights, and you will have this. Or you should train your eye to see small details in a flat surface. I prefer to do this with the loops. So another thing is the light direction, and I am I will challenge you to, when you do this, also the construction and also the finishing procedure, to have a good position of the light. That means a good position of the light to be in, I say, 45 degrees to the position of the eye. So in this way the light is coming from here and my eye is from here, so the light is from here. So in this way I can see the details, and I can see where is all the lines, all the surfaces, so my burrs and my instruments can go and to work on the details that I would like to obtain. So in this way, using a proper light from different direction, you need also shadow and light to have a 3D perspective on my restoration, because now I have a 3D perspective. Why? Because the light is from here, only one light. Here is no light, it's shadow. So in this way I have 3D perspective. To get this with my camera, sometimes it's easy to remove the flash, hold the camera in one place, the flash in another place, and then you have this direction from the light and from the camera. So you will have these pictures like in the image. Okay, when you talk about surface texture, it's two separate things. It's finishing and polishing. Polishing is quite easy to gain. It's easy because it's just the gloss part of the surface of the composite, but the finishing is starting from the way how we place the composite on the tooth, and it's finished with the way of using the instruments step by step into a way that we gain the surface to be flat, actually to be flat, smooth, and in the end with the polish instrument we go to be gloss. We can skip the finishing procedures to go on the polish, because it's not possible to have a surface rough and to be polished. Nice inspiration and a lot of inspiration, and thanks for these two nice people. That's the right layers, and now the second one. And they were quite an inspiration for me in my daily practice and also from this presentation. Thank you, Jordi and Anna, with that. So as a steps, I follow these steps also when I'm doing designing, also when I do constructing, and also when I do finishing and polishing. It's contour, it's primary morphology, second morphology, and third morphology. Okay, sometimes. But there is also the tertiary morphology. But these three, 1, 2, contour, primary morphology, second morphology, very, very important to have a nice natural appearance of the tooth. So in design, in constructing, and also in finishing and polishing. So contour, you have this question, where will be the incisional part of the tooth? This is why we need a design before, a wax up or a direct mock-up. Where is the cervical, to see where the gingiva is a good position or no, and how we do the proximal in the proper position. And in the end, after we have this contour, we will place the material there, and then after we think about the first morphology, that is the transition lines, that there are 2 transition lines, actually 4, 2 proximally that give the width of the tooth, and 2 horizontally, then split the surface in 3 places, 1, 2, 3. 1 is periodontal, that is regarding to the shape of the gingiva, and this is emergent profile. Then you have 2 that it's aesthetic zone, is more flat surface that we see to the eye, so this is more aesthetic zone. And the third part is the functional part, and in the central have to be and to finish on the vermion. The proximals give the appearance width of the tooth. So depends of these 2 lines, the tooth can have different shapes, but the real space of the tooth is given by the space between the tooth. And why is this important? Paul Fichter is a nice article. He presents that the same contour with different transition lines can give different appearance of the tooth. So actually we have 2 shapes of the tooth. The contour is one shape, and the transition lines is another contour, another shape. Secondary morphology is the space between the lobes, or could be also horizontal ridges. That gives the secondary morphology of the tooth. Like here, we have these Eiffel towers, as I heard in one expression. Yes, this is the secondary morphology of the tooth. Tertiary morphology is these growing lines. This is more happen to the young people. In young people, in the young teeth, they are very obvious, but in the adults, they are very not so obvious. And in my opinion, in composite, it's not so big importance, so big impact, because in few months, maybe 2-3 months, this will disappear because of the material. Maybe on ceramic it's a different story, but on composite it doesn't worth to stay too much on that. It's just only for the picture, and also for the for picture. Here this is a young tooth, and yes, we see a lot of tertiary morphology. So these are the steps that we follow when you do the surface texture.